Before we start the show today, guys, I want to give a special thanks to Alfredo for hosting our draft party this year. Hope the cleanup wasn't too bad, Fredo. Alrighty, guys, get the show started. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Monkey Hour. And guys, our draft is complete. Man, it was intense this year. You know, I told everybody to come in with their game faces and their game plans ready to go, and man, everybody delivered. I want to get this out of the way already. Craig, goddamn, dude, you got shit-faced. You were shit-faced drunk during this whole entire draft, and my god, dude. Anyways, guys, a lot of good things happened during the draft, man. Not only were we able to complete it, but the commish dropped a bombshell on us that day, man. It was pretty big news that he dropped on us, and the news was that he had a meeting with Craig, and Craig came up with this great idea of trying to develop a B League. Now, what that means is this B League will basically be the same thing that, you know, baseball calls their, you know, minor leagues and the NBA calls their developmental leagues. This is basically what this B League is going to be. It's going to be a developmental league for our Monkeys of Freightliner League. Now, in this B League, the way it works is that it's going to be 10 guys that I guess Craig and Carlos are going to pick out. I don't know how these players are going to be picked, but they're going to be picked. And they're going to have an opportunity to win this league. And if they win this league, they will punch their ticket into coming into the Monkeys of Freightliner. And I bet you're asking, well, I thought y'all were a 10-man league. You know, are y'all going to make this a 12-man league or something? Or what's going to happen? No, we're not making this a 12-man league. We're still going to stick with the whole 10-man league, and that's it. There's a stipulation that Carlos added to this, and we all had to take a vote on it. We had to take a vote on this one stipulation, and that is, at the end of every season in the Monkeys of Freightliner, the two guys that finished second to last and dead last will have one more game to play, and they will play each other. The loser of that game will be booted from the Monkeys of Freightliner. Yeah, you heard it right, folks. The loser of that damn game is getting their ass kicked from the Monkeys of Freightliner. And their asses are going to be sent to the B League and have to win that league in order for them to re-enter the Monkeys of Freightliner. Now, I'm going to be honest, I like it. It spices competition up in our Monkeys of Freightliner. You know, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess it adds more pressure to every owner in the Monkeys of Freightliner that, you know, you don't want to be in that bottom half. You don't want to be in you know, the last two at the end of the season. You don't want to play that game. I don't want to be part of that game. That's way too much pressure for my ass. But like I said, it helps, you know, keep the competitive edge at an all-time high. Now, the commission said that this league is not going to go into effect until after next season. But I think, but Craig and Carlos said that they're going to test it out this year with 10 guys and see if it works. I really hope this works, man, because like I said, it's going to spice up competition. It really will. Besides the whole, you know, B League news being dropped and we all had to take a vote, it was basically a unanimous vote to have this league. After the draft was over, I was able to get an interview with Alfredo. And he had a lot of choice words for a lot of people. I'll let y'all take a listen.
Fredo, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Feeling a little buzzed. Feeling a little all right. How do you feel about the draft, man? We just completed it.
I think everybody sucked balls.
What makes you say that, Doc?
Because everybody's fucking drunk.
Not as drunk as Craig got. Craig got fucking shit-faced.
True.
All right. Well, Honestly, how do you feel about your draft? Do you think you drafted good with the players that you picked, or do you think that?
I think I have a solid running backs, but my fucking wide receivers suck balls. But hey,
Who did you take as your receivers?
I took Demarius Thomas, Jay Macklin.
Who the fuck are they?
Does it matter? I'm still gonna win no matter.
It kind of does, man. Because I mean, you have a draft board ranked higher than mine. Apparently, mine got ranked dead last. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but you know what? It is what it is.
But hold on, this interview is not about you. It's about fucking me. Okay, so let's focus on me. All right?
I owe you attention, whore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think you're gonna take the belt from Ted this year, or do you think
I think Ted is not even gonna fucking make the playoffs. I guarantee you.
that's a bold statement to make?
He's not. He'll be like almost dead last.
But okay. How do you feel about the loss from last year? Losing the championship game. I know how it feels to lose to this guy.
I think fucking Teddy got so fucking lucky. He's a piece of shit. All I gotta say is Teddy's a piece of shit, and he got so fucking lucky. None of my players showed up, and what can I say? I scored 150 points, and all of a sudden I can't score 100. Everybody who plays him can't score 100 points. So, what can I tell you?
Well, I mean, he does have like the Lucky the Irish behind this motherfucker. I don't know if it was a beard or what, but
It's a fucking leprechaun. That's what.
you think it's fucking leprechauns?
Yeah. He's his asshole. Sure. They're fucking rubbing and tucking that asshole right there, and then they're like, "Oh, it feels good on your butthole."
Guys, y'all got to realize we've been drinking the whole night, so
Tickle me all the way. Oh, tickle me, my little ball spot.
Who's gonna wear the horseshoe this year up there? Who has the horseshoe up there? This year.
who has the horseshoe this year? If we have to ask.
I don't understand what the fucking horseshoe means.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck a horseshoe is either, but you know what? We're gonna ignore that question.
What is it?
Who's gonna have?
Oh, hold on.
The
Clean
luck
some balls.
that Teddy had last year. Who's gonna have that horseshoe stuck up their ass like Teddy did last year?
Oh, I get what he's saying. He's saying who's gonna be lucky as fuck this year, and who's just gonna fall from grace.
Oh, it'd probably be Matt. Matt still suck balls. He don't care about this fucking league. He just plays along like don't care.
Well, I mean, with this new D League that the commission came up with, just recently before the draft, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's fair for everybody, or do you think?
I think that's pretty awesome because it's gonna fucking demote this fucking fucks from third place. The last third, they're gonna fucking what do you call it?
They're gonna get delegated,
They're gonna get regulated or delegated, whatever the fuck you call it, and they're gonna be suck balls after that.
Well, I gotta ask you, Fredo, what if you're the one that's in the bottom half of the league?
I doubt it. I never have become the last. I'm always in the playoffs. I'm always up there. Always at the end.
All right. So, out of the two guys that finished last year, let's say they finished last again this year. Out of Craig and the commish, who do you think would be eliminated if they played an elimination game?
They both of them suck balls, and they're gonna both be eliminated. Both gonna be relegated, including Ted.
All right. I've asked everybody this question that I've interviewed. How do you think the Cowboys are going to do now knowing that Tony Romo is out for almost basically the season?
My Cowboys are gonna go 10-6. We're gonna win Eastern Conference. We're gonna go all the way, baby, to the fucking Super Bowl.
Even with the rookie quarterback, you think he'll be the first ever rookie quarterback to win the Super Bowl?
No, we're gonna do the same thing that Peyton Manning did. We're gonna replace him on the 11th, 12th week, and that's it. Tony Romo is gonna take over, and that's it.
So what you're saying is that we're gonna basically pull the Broncos and win the Super Bowl,
Exactly.
start our backup, and then when the playoffs start, we're gonna start our main starter.
Pretty much. Give and take.
So after watching, this Ezekiel Elliott make his debut, what do you think of him?
That dude is fucking awesome. That's what I gotta say.
Who called that play?
Actually, Big Rum will call that, and I'll call him for that. He's awesome.
Do you think that he was first pick, first round worthy? To be taken off the board that quick like Craig did?
If he wouldn't have taken him, he would have been second round overall. He would have gone second round.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Because the Brummer brother would have taken second. So either first or second doesn't matter.
All right. Well, like I said, since the draft is done, we already know, who's, what the teams are going to look like, who's going to be, the contender this year, who's going to be the pretender, who's going to be in first, who's going to be in last.
I gotta say, Nick, first of all, you suck balls like you have always. You always got so lucky, just as fucking Ted, the same way. You just got him by, but this time the fucking schedule is gonna change, and you're gonna see that you're not even gonna make the fucking playoffs as a fucking fat fuck Ted.
But that doesn't answer my question. That's just you talking shit to me. You're trying to avoid the question. Well, who's gonna be number one? Who's gonna be dead last?
I'm gonna be number 2. Okay.
I'll be number 2.
So you're gonna be number 2?
Yes.
Who's gonna be above you?
Carlos.
What? Whoa.
The commissioner is gonna be number 1, and guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna fucking send it to number 3.
All right.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing
I
at.
don't understand. This is a fucking interview, and you're a piece of shit. That's a fucking interview. Okay.
Who had the worst draft?
It wasn't me.
Who had the worst draft, Fredo?
Hold on. We'll get to the group interview as soon as I'm done with Fredo. Fredo, you say I get lucky. You say I do this, but yet I still make it to playoffs, and I'm still number 1 all year round above everybody else.
You always have a weak fucking schedule.
A weak schedule.
Yes.
Tell him, Fredo.
This shit is about to change, and I guarantee you and the fat fuck pussy are not gonna make the pussy. Not gonna make the playoffs. I guarantee you and that cocksucker over there, not gonna make the playoffs.
I mean, this is the same thing that y'all have said last year when, I drafted y'all were like, oh, this is the worst draft you've made. This is the worst. And yet I make playoffs and I'm number 1 all year. Like I say, I always am.
Look, first of all, you drafted. Don't pause it, bitch.
No, it's not paused. It's continuing.
You drafted Devonta Freeman and Julio Jones on the second and third round pick, or first and second. I was like, really?
Yeah.
What kind of shitty ass owner you are? You suck balls, really?
Big balls.
Yeah, big balls, hair balls, sweaty balls. Sweaty.
Is that the only thing you have to knock on my team? I mean, is that
After that, I started paying attention because you're a fucking pretender. You are. You're like, really? You fucking. I gotta give props to Jesse and Matt, maybe, and Teddy. Teddy, maybe he sneak around, but he's gonna get relegated to fucking second division.
he's gonna get sent to the D League?
Yeah.
Well, Fredo, I gotta tell you this. I don't think you're a D League guy. I don't think you're a second level guy. I think you deserve to be in the top tier, just along with me.
No.
And if I had to make an honest opinion,
Not you.
I would have to say maybe I would make it to fourth out of this entire league. But I really want to be honest with the draft. I was really nervous drafting my players, but
Suck balls thing.
I didn't ask you, Commish. You suck. You come in second to last. I don't want to hear your
You
opinion.
know what? I guarantee you, Nick, you're not gonna make the fucking playoffs. I guarantee you're not gonna make the playoffs.
And again, I say,
And I call it. I call it. I call it.
and again, I say,
Daniel Jones is not that good.
and again, I say, you know, if I face you this year in playoffs, it's going to be a different story. But you know what? We'll save that for when that day comes. Fredo, it was a great interview. I appreciate it.
We're not done, bitch.
Oh, we're not done? I thought we were done.
No.
Well, what else do you have to say?
Who had the worst draft? And hello, can I get my?
Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Who had the worst draft, Fredo?
I think the worst draft was Craig.
God, we cannot leave that guy alone.
He got so drunk. He didn't know left from right and right from left.
And
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Craig. You just sucked the shit. You stole my pick, bitch.
And I gotta say that Chip, he stole 2 of my fucking picks that I had in mind, and I give him props for that. And Nick, you suck balls. Okay, and I interview.
I guess that's how we're going to end it here, guys. Fredo's is a sore butthole. So, I mean, whatever. Fredo, again, great interview. I appreciate your time. Any last words?
Hosting the draft party.
Yes, thank you again for hosting the draft party.
No problem, buddy.
But any last words you got to say to anybody else?
I'm gonna win this bullshit league. Okay? And my fucking belt buckle is gonna be in that shitty ass belt. And you know what? I'm gonna sleep with that son of a bitch, and I'm gonna eat breakfast with my
John.
yeah, with my underwear. And I'm gonna text you some fucking pictures, you fucking assholes.
Well, y'all heard it here, folks. Y'all heard it here first on the Monkey Hour, guys. I will see y'all next time.
Fuck you, Jesse.
What a great guy, huh? Wow. The only thing I have to say about that interview is it kind of did suck balls. And like I said, guys, he had a lot of choice words for other people. And you know what? I am really, really getting sick and tired of everybody saying that me and Ted had the easiest schedule for the past 2 seasons. You know what my response to that is? My response to it is, get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. You're using the easy schedule as an excuse on why every one of y'all sucked last year, besides Fredo and Teddy. And you know what's funny is that the main person that uses this excuse is Jesse. Now, Jesse, I expect more from you, man. I expect you to be a man and own up to your loss, but you can't. You cannot get over the fact that you have more fantasy football experience than I do, and you still can't beat me. Okay, you know what? You beat me once, but does that game really fucking matter? I still own 3 victories over you. I still beat you in playoffs back-to-back years. I think I beat you back-to-back years. I'm not too, that last year was kind of foggy in that playoff, but I beat you. And to be honest with you, Jesse, it should feel embarrassing that you had this much experience and more championships than I do, but yet you still can't beat me, or yet you can't beat me convincingly. Guys, stop using the whole week schedule thing to try to boost yourselves, okay? It gets old, and it's a shitty ass excuse. Now, Commish, go ahead and give me the toughest opponent. Go ahead and give me Jesse the first week. I'll just mop the floor with him like I do every year. It doesn't matter who you give me, Commish. I will eliminate everybody in my way in order for me to gain that damn belt. That's all I gotta say about that, guys. Stop using the goddamn week schedule shit as your excuse. Come up with a better one. Sorry I had to go on that rant, guys, but I'm just so sick and tired of hearing it over and over and over again. Get the fuck over it. Anyways, guys, the next part of the show is actually going to be a weekly thing, and that is going to be my top 10 list. It's basically going to be the top 10 guys every week in, week out, and I'm going to have my own list. But this week's list is actually only going to be, post-draft. It's basically how I'm ranking everybody's draft and where they're, I want everybody to really see, where they stand this year amongst, everybody else. Now, this list is subject to change every week. Like I said, I'm gonna do a new list every single week after every game, and like I said, it's just gonna be my opinion. Y'all know a lot of y'all are gonna argue with it, but I don't really give a shit. This is my list. At number 10, we have Ted. Yeah, Ted, you had the shittiest draft again this year. I mean, you have a great QB, but your running back and receivers are the biggest question mark I have. I mean, you took a big gamble on taking Lamar Miller. The only question I have for Lamar Miller is, can he produce, behind that Houston offensive line? Now, I understand that the Texans have improved a lot over the years, but their offensive line is still shaky to me. I mean, and Lamar Miller to me is just not that good of a running back. I mean, he was okay with the Dolphins, but he didn't really give me the numbers to make him a number 1 overall pick. I'm sorry, but you know what, Ted? You've been told this, the past 2 years that you draft shitty, but yet you're standing there the champ. But you're still at number 10, dude. You're at the bottom of the rankings, but I could see you rising up, pretty soon. At number 9, we got Carlos. Now, Carlos, I have you down here just for the simple fact that your running back duo is just very weak. I mean, C.J. Anderson, really, and Derrick Henry as your starters? I don't know, man. Derrick Henry, I'm really against starting rookie running backs. No offense to you, Craig, but Ezekiel Elliott is just special. But you're starting Derrick Henry, who came out of Alabama. He's not even a starting running back. He's a backup to DeMarco Murray. And I'm sorry, but I think DeMarco, behind the Tennessee offensive line, I think he'll have a better chance at being a starter than Derrick Henry. I think DeMarco to me has the experience to be an all-down back. Derrick Henry cannot be an all-down back his rookie season. I think next season or the season after he can be, but not at his rookie season. I think he's got a lot to learn before he becomes that all-down back. Now, I understand you took Le'Veon, but he's not going to start for the first 4 games of the season, and you did take him last year, and he did fail for you. I mean, if Le'Veon can stay healthy, I think he'll be a force for you this year. But you're taking the same gamble that you did last year, and that is, can he stay healthy and can he produce? You do have, great receivers in Alshon Jeffrey and DeAndre Hopkins. In fact, I like DeAndre Hopkins more than Alshon Jeffrey just for the simple fact that, DeAndre finally has a quarterback in Brock Osweiler. Now, I know we only saw Brock Osweiler for half a season, but he did play great. I'm sorry. I think he played better than Peyton Manning. Now, could he have won the Super Bowl? I don't know. We'll never know that answer. I think the Texans do have a solid QB behind Brock Osweiler, and I think he's going to target DeAndre Hopkins a lot this year. So that might be your saving grace. Although for Alshon, the quarterback situation in Chicago is still shaky. I can't really trust Jay Cutler because, he had Brandon Marshall, and Brandon Marshall couldn't produce for shit behind Jay Cutler. At least for the past 2 seasons. I know he's had great success with Jay Cutler before, but in these past 2 seasons, he hasn't done dick. That's why Brandon Marshall left to go to New York, and he found a new quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's not like you have a shitty team, Carlos. It's just those running backs are shitty, and you only have only 2 good players, and that's just your receivers. Other than that, your team sucks. At number 8, we have Chip. Now, Chip, you have a great running backs, but that's it. Carson Palmer is way too old, and you took him, I think it was the 5th round or 4th round you took him. I can't put my hype train behind Carson Palmer after watching him just basically implode during the playoffs. I mean, it looked like he wasn't even there. It looked like there was a backup in their plan. And that's embarrassing for a guy who has the experience that Carson Palmer has. Now, he could have a great season, but I wouldn't bank my fantasy league on that. Now, you did pick up Dak Prescott, which is a great pickup. Dak Prescott, in my eyes, looks like he's a 2-year veteran already. Now, if he has if he starts off, great for the Cowboys, he might be, that guy right there could be your starting quarterback for the future. So I keep him on my team, and I keep my eyes on him all year long. You did also have great pickups in TJ Yeldon and Langford. I think that TJ will have a great breakout year this year. He didn't really have a good year last year. He had okay numbers, but I think this year is going to be more of his stomping grounds. I think they're going to try to feed him the ball more, and I think he'll take over for that Jaguars offense. And Langford, I mean, we all know that Chicago's going to run the ball. So, like I said, man, great pickups in those three with Dak Prescott, with TJ Yeldon, and Langford. Great pickups. At number 7, we have Alfredo. Now, Alfredo, you have good running backs, good QB, but that's just about it. Okay? Your wide receivers that you pick are nobodies. Okay? You pick up Jeremy Maclin. Who the fuck is Jeremy Maclin? What fucking team does he play on? And I swear to God, guys, I know who he plays for. Don't you dare be fucking smartasses to me and say, oh, he plays for the fucking Eagles. I know he plays for the fucking Eagles. I just hate the goddamn Eagles. I'm not going to give them fucking credit for anything. And you also took Steve Smith. Really? Steve Smith? That guy is fucking old in wide receiver years, dude. He's not going to make it. And he's coming off of a fucking Achilles tear. That man is not going to produce for you this year. And then Mohamed Sanu? Really? Do I really got to go into detail about this? Nah, I'm not even gonna go in there with you. However, I have to say though, Fredo, the two picks that you picked up that shocked me was Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Now, Rob is not really gonna have anybody to throw to him in the first 4 games of the season, but after that 4th game, that might be the turnaround of your season, man. You have Tom Brady coming off a suspension, and that means he's gonna go off. I don't care who he's playing. He's going to go off for you. So I suggest you start him in that, week 4, week 5. And you should also start Rob Gronkowski because those two together, they could lead you to a belt. Hell, I saw Ted fucking win a championship belt with just one fucking player, and that was Odell Beckham Jr. So, Fredo, your season might not be completely lost, but you might want to look at the waiver wire for some more receivers. Or you could just ask, Jesse for, more receivers, which comes to my number 6 ranking, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse, you're number 6. And let me go down the list and tell you why. Number 1, your QBs, the quarterbacks that you chose this year, they could be your downfall. Phillip Rivers is way too inconsistent to be a starting quarterback. I mean, I've just asked the commish. He's drafted him the past 2 years in 4 different leagues, actually. And he's just failed for him year in, year out. I mean, the guy's just too inconsistent to really keep on a roster. Now, you do have Jameis Winston, but I think they're going to run the ball more and feed the ball more to Doug Martin than throw it. And he's also going to have his sophomore year, his 3rd-year slump. I see, I think he's going to have an okay year, but not enough to really make him, starter status, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. He could have a breakout season, but to me, those 2 quarterbacks are just too shaky of a pick. And then you chose Dez Bryant in the 1st round for your 1st-round pick. Now, Jesse, I took him last year, and Romo got hurt just like Romo got hurt this year. Dez can only produce when Romo's in the game. I'm sorry. I know there's going to be a lot of you fuckers are going to say, no, Dez is the greatest fucking wide receiver of all time. But put a shitty quarterback in there, and Dez is irrelevant. Dez is nowhere to be found. Now, I know y'all have Dak Prescott, but are you really going to bank your entire season on Dak Prescott, a rookie quarterback, having as good of a year as Tony Romo did in 2014? I don't know, man. Your Dez pick is going to be up in the air. Unless Dak Prescott can produce and feed the ball to Dez Bryant is going to be basically useless for you. Now, you do have Brandon Marshall, but the same thing I got to say about Dez is the same thing I'm going to say about Brandon Marshall. He is only as good as his quarterback is. I don't trust that if Ryan Fitzpatrick goes down, that Geno Smith is going to be able to feed Brandon Marshall the ball. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. If Prescott can produce and target only Dez and your running backs can stay healthy, it's going to be an interesting year for you, Jesse. I'll admit that. At number 5, we got me. Yeah, I ranked myself at number 5 because, I took a big gamble in taking 2 quarterbacks back-to-back rounds. That was a big risk. Another big risk that I took was taking 2 players in the first 2 rounds that are on the same team. I don't think it's as big of a risk as the quarterbacks, but it is something that I did kind of mark off on myself. You know, maybe I should have chose a different running back instead of Devontae Freeman, but hey, man, I took him. I feel that Devontae Freeman's gonna have a great year. You know, and hopefully that he stays healthy for me. Another thing I took off my, marked on my team was that I took 3 Lions players, and when I really should have just taken one. I should have just taken Golden Tate. Golden Tate's gonna be my flex guy probably all year long if he can be that flex guy for me. I took Anquan Bolden and Amir Abdullah, in which, Anquan Bolden I like as a receiver, but I don't think he'll be fantasy. I don't think that he has very much fantasy value. I think he'll get maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, every so often, but I think that's it. As far as Amir Abdullah, he's more of somebody that I'm going to keep an eye on my team and see if he can produce. If he can't, he's gone. But if he can, that'd be a great pickup for me. Another gamble that I took with my team was taking Melvin Gordon. I think Melvin Gordon's more of a big word for me than anybody else on this team, just for the simple fact that he didn't have that good of a year last year. And coming into the season, he was training with Adrian Peterson all summer long, so hopefully that training does come in handy for Melvin Gordon. Hopefully he can be another Adrian Peterson, because I'm really going to need him. Also, I took Sammy Watkins coming off an injury, and I think he's going to have a tremendous year. I think him and Tyrod Taylor are just going to be in sync this year. Sammy Watkins is going to come back with a fucking fire in his ass to prove everybody that he still got it. Now, everybody gave me shit for drafting 2 quarterbacks, but I bet you, Jesse or Carlos, or hell, even Fredo, will be offering me trades within maybe the first 3 games of the season to trade me for either Ben Roethlisberger or Russell Wilson. And you know what I'm going to say to you guys? Show me the money. Show me the money, bitches. Now, before I get into the top 4 picks, guys, I got to say, coming up with this top 4, it was fucking hard. I mean, I looked at each 4 of these teams, and man, they all look good on paper. But I had to really crunch down and nitpick these teams, and I really didn't want to. I wish I could name all these guys number 1, but I can't. I gotta make a top 10 list. Anyways, at number 4, I have Craig. Yes, Craig, you're actually on the top. You're actually number 4 on my list. Even with you being shit-faced drunk, you still had a great draft. I mean, you picked up great running backs. You picked up Eddie Lacy and Ezekiel Elliott, Duke Johnson, and D'Angelo Williams. I mean, all 4 of those guys at least for the first 5 games of the season are looking like they're gonna be fucking fantastic. Okay, your wide receivers can be good if they can live up to the hype. And great. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you were shit-faced drunk and you were able to draft solid fucking players. Okay, like at first I looked at, when I was looking through the draft board, I was like, his team ain't that good. But when I really started crunching down the numbers, I really started looking at this, I was like, man, I gotta rank him higher. There's no way I can rank him at the bottom half of the league. No, I have to rank him in the top 5, top 4. And so you're welcome, Craig. You're actually on the top 4 or something. At number 3, I have Joseph. Now Joseph, honest to God, has the most set team out of everybody. There's really nothing I can really nitpick about this guy except for his quarterback situation. But I think taking a look at it now, he picked up Matthew Stafford, which he's coming in underrated this year. Stafford is going to sling the ball more. The Lions don't have a running game. So if Stafford can keep the picks to a minimum, I can have Stafford being a solid QB for Joseph all year round. The other question I got for you, Joseph, is can your players stay healthy? I think that's the number 1 question we're going to have for you all year long. But you're poised to have a great season this year. Hopefully you have one. At number 2, I have Matthew. Yeah, Matt, you had a great draft. I'm shocked about it, actually. If I really had to nitpick your team, the only thing I really have to say is, can Carlos Hyde produce for the 49ers? Can he be the all-down back that the 49ers desperately need? Now, I don't know about that, but I've seen crazier things. Great pickup with Arian Foster. I think he's going to have a tremendous year with Miami. And he will be the all-down back for Miami. And I think he'll have a fantastic year out there. If there's one more thing I got to knock on your team is, can Tyrod Taylor have a breakout year? He looked great last year. He threw the ball fantastic. I mean, if he can stay healthy and him and Sammy Watkins can connect, he'll be a great pickup for you. And you're going to have a solid year this year. Now, the number one guy. This guy was the most unprepared for this draft out of all of us. This guy came in with just a 60-pack of Natty Lights, and that's it. He didn't have a pen. He didn't have paper. He didn't even have a fucking draft board. Nothing. He came in with his mind and a fucking 60-pack of Natty Light. I am talking about the governor. Yeah. This guy knows how to draft, man. All the players that he picked, they're all solid. Even the backups to his fucking starters are all solid. I mean, I think the only problem that the governor's going to have is, who's he going to start this year? Who is he going to start week in and week out? I mean, that's a problem I wish I had, but I don't. Governor, if you really, you want to make some trades, man, hey, I got 2 solid QBs that are good, if you ever need a quarterback in case Cam Newton goes down. But the only question I have for you, Governor, is, can you take that belt back to Oklahoma? That is the top 10 list, guys, and that is the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Guys, give me feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know, how y'all feel about the show. Also give me topics to talk about on the show. Guys, be interactive with me. Like I said, I want to make this show as entertaining as I can. But like I said, it's all up to y'all. Y'all have to help me out. Y'all are my feedback. Y'all are the ones who criticize me. Give me everything y'all got. I want to know how I can make this show better. Next week, we will have the games of the week. And I will also have Jesse as my special guest. Yeah, we're going to have a smack off, dude. Me and you, we're going to fucking promote this game. Because I guarantee you, this is going to be the game of the week. It's going to be me versus Jesse. Anyways, guys, that's all the time I have for y'all today. I will see y'all next time.